How you doing, folks? This video is a request. I know I ain't made a video in a long time, but this is a request video, and it's about the golden race, and it's a poignant, pretty important video in light of all the stuff that's going on, you know, with the police running around killing all the black men, and all the stupid, you know, TV shows on television, trying to distract you. You got the militiamen in Oregon going to take over the federal building, and so that kind of makes it even more important. The golden race is probably the most important thing actually today, because there's only two issues that exist on the planet, and that is race and class. And race is controlled by white supremacists, and it's, you know, it's white supremacy is the most negative thing that ever existed in the universe. But let's just go with this planet. If you notice, every white culture never lasts. Greece, Rome, the Yukiars, the Etruscans, they always die, because their concept of a society is based on death. Even the white supremacists that control current society, their symbol is skull and crossbones. See, so just based on death. And the golden race is the race that always saves humanity. Always, invariably, like clockwork, without a doubt. They're always the race that saves humanity. And it goes all the way back to Atlantean times, into Kemet. And now Kemet, it's called Egypt. Most people know it as Egypt, but Kemet is the original name of Egypt. And Kemet was founded at 65,000 BCE. You can watch the lecture by the Sufi Dr. Hakim Aliyan, and if you watch it intently, you'll see that he says that Kemet was founded at 65,000 BCE. And he also says that none of the more important megalithic structures of Kemet, like the pyramid, the Sphinx, and lots of the temples, weren't built until one precession passed. And when I say precession, I mean precession of the equinoxes. So that would be 25,920 years. And then he said, quote unquote, once the people mixed together sufficiently, were they able to erect those structures. And what that means is that Kemet, the word Kemet, is the root word of alchemy. Alchemy, the goal of alchemy, of course, is extraction of the gold. Extraction of gold. And even in what you can't necessarily see. Like, for instance, you can't see the human aura. However, Ra, the word A-U-R-A, AU is the atomic symbol on the atomic scale for gold. And then Ra is the rays of the sun, rays of the golden sun. So see, the goal of Kemet is the extraction of the gold. It's the mixing of the races, because all five races were present at the beginning of Kemet. Even back then, there was a couple of more races. There was a light green race, and there was a light blue race. And you'll see them in the folklore of India. But they were called the moon-colored people. They were called moon-colored, and you'll see those effigies all over the place, even in Indian art and stuff like that. Anyway, so those races all mixed together. That's what we call black, brown, red, yellow, and white. Okay, and when all those races mix together, and you have them in equal measure almost, you produce a golden person. Now, you can produce a golden, and then there's an X factor to producing a golden person. and that X factor is love. So you can have all the races mixed. Like today, the mind controllers, they know that the races are going to mix, especially in America. They know blacks and whites are going to mix, but they want it to be a fetish. They want it to be a porn thing. They can control that because it's easy to mind control people through the sex drive, because the sex drive and the imagination are the two strongest forces in the entire universe. So if they can control it through fetish, then they're pretty much sure that they can control the progeny of those unions, the children. However, if those children come out like the parents really, really loved each other, they're really concerned about each other as human beings and not just archetypal examples of, oh, I'm supposed to have this, oh, I'm supposed to have that, oh, this has to be in place, but they have true love between each other instead of that crap. Then those children come out like Barack Obama, Mariah Carey, Oprah Winfrey, Whitney Houston. They come out with the love vibration prevalent. The mind controllers, they can't control that. That would destroy them. That would also destroy white supremacy. And that's the reason why, like, for instance, when like Hitler, the Nazis despised race mixing. They wanted that pure white person. And the reason why is because the white race has some really good talents, and the talents are that they're highly analytical, they're highly intelligent, and have a highly organized method of thinking, and so and then they act upon it. So, but they're the least connected to the spirit. You know how you hear black people say, we're spiritual people. You never hear white people say that shit, because they're not, as a group. So that's the reason why they are chosen by the mind controllers as the supreme race, as the master race or whatever, and simply because they're the easiest to program through repetition, because they're analytical, intelligent. The word intelligence just means to gather information. So that's the way that they are. So that's like that's also almost mirrors the way that demons are. So they can use all this demonic shit, all this evil shit, and control the world through the white race, demonically. Okay? So that's the reason why the white race is not to say there's not good white people. There's lots and lots and lots of good white people. That doesn't mean that white people are always up to evil, because they aren't up to evil all the time. However, their society as a group pretty much yields evil. And what is evil? Evil is the opposite of live. So what I'm telling you is that their societies that they run are always slated to dissolve through, the society will simply go away. They'll do it every single time. They'll always perish, because they're not built on life. They're based on evil, basically. So now what the golden race does is it creates a situation where you have a large group of people that have a higher level of genetic intelligence than the regular white people, or the regular black people, or the regular Chinese people, or the regular Indian people, or the regular brown people. The golden race people have a higher level of genetic intelligence, because it's proven that, of course, genetics has a memory, and we know for sure that IQ is tied to memory. So there you go. It's a pretty simple equation. They have a higher level of genetic intelligence. See? So that being the case, it totally 100% scares everybody, because you have an entire planet of Barack Obamas, you have an entire planet of Akhenatons, you have an entire planet of Colin Powells. See, under those conditions, what would happen is that life would be fair, because they'll make it fair. You see, the opportunities would be there for everybody, whereas now they're not. I mean, like right now, the way white supremacy works is about, I think in America, the top 40 people control literally like over 90% of the resources. The top richest 40 people. That's ridiculous. That's insane. But that's the case. So what the golden race does is creates a situation where there's empathy for every race within that one person, because they're made up of every race in about equal measure. So see, this to now the golden race is also the exact reason why you want to keep every race strong, and you don't want to deteriorate any race, no matter what color that race is. You want to keep all the people strong, because when they come together genetically to produce a golden child, then there's no weak link. See what I'm saying? And if there is a weak link, the majority of the time those golden genetics will compensate for it and fix it. However, and if you notice, Kemet, the number one sign of Kemet is the caduceus. So it's all about, it's a double helix DNA. It's all about genetics, you see. And that's the reason why Kemet was founded. Kemet was founded at 65,000 BCE for the sole reason to create golden races of people. Now people say, oh, the golden age. The golden age is all a bunch of bullshit. It's all about the people. It's designed to create golden races because of the things the golden race people can actually accomplish. They just simply have an ability to process information on a genetic level that the other races, just as an individual races, just don't. They just can't do it. So, but that's, like I said, it's more reason to keep all the races strong and to not deteriorate any of them. See, so then what happens is that throughout antiquity, every time that golden races of people come about, that they're made through race mixing, then they ascend the earth plane en masse as a group, because they generally will live such lives that they'll overcome karma. They'll serve their fellow man like nobody else has, and they will teach and instruct in such a way that the people develop, and they develop so much until they're able to escape having to incarnate on the earth plane, because they'll live such good lives until they will become what's called enlightened. You see, and you notice also in Kemet, you see, there's a big to do about the golden mean, the golden ratio, the 1.618 ratio on the Giza Plateau. It unfolds, and blah blah blah, because the goal of Kemet is to extract the gold, period. Okay, and that's the creation of golden races of people. So it's just great to live in a time where you see that's going to happen in America, and you see the opposition trying its best to scramble and use the internet to make it into a fetish. Now, the other thing that they're trying to do to make sure that people don't race mix is the killing of all the black men by the police. Now, are the police to blame? Well, in a way, but they're not the ones that are in control. They're not the mind controllers. The mind controllers are mind controlling the police to do this. Okay, and there's lots of factors that go into that. I could talk about that for days, but so if you put a bad taste in the black race's mouth about the white race, then they'll see the white race as evil, and then they won't want to race mix with them because they'll hate them. That's the idea. That's the reason why the mind controllers had the police killing black people, because they know that it's time for the races to mix, and they figure in their minds, they figure that the best way to deter that is to make black people hate the white race so much so they won't want to race mix with them. That's the idea behind that. But you have to figure this. There's only really one way to marginalize the white race, And when I mean marginalize their numbers so that they're not the ones that are in power. Because you don't want the white race in power on the planet Earth, because not only will they destroy societies, they'll destroy the planet. Because it's just their consciousness. Their consciousness is based upon destruction. Okay? They think running around making buildings and building buildings and building stuff and all that is some kind of that's creation. That's not creation. That's just molding, and molding eventually will be destructive. So there's a big push to put that bad taste in black people's mouth about race mixing with the white people. So if they make you hate them, then they win. So you can't let them make you hate them. You have to understand what's going on. You have to understand what's going on from all three levels. That's the physical, the underlying level. Some people call it mental. And then there's spiritual level, from the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious level. There's the word. There's the word was made flesh. So, which means there's three levels to genetics. You see what I'm saying? There's the surface level, there's the underlying level, which is your mind, and then there's the motivating level, which is, what moves you, which is the spirit. Okay, and mind controllers don't want those things integrated. They want everything compartmentalized and separated. They want to keep you angry and frustrated and always at odds. They could win and they could not win. It's completely up to the people. And my recommendation is to do what you're supposed to do. Save the planet, save the earth. The only way to do that is to race mix. You have to do it. You have to do it. It doesn't mean everybody has to do it, but enough people have to do it. And you can't discount another person because of their race, because and you might even love that person, but you'll let your thinking get in the way. That's really the voice of the knowledge, that's what really was the tree of good and evil in the Bible, was that voice. It's what you should do because it's natural, and then that voice starts talking to you and starts negativing you out. Oh, I better not do that because. Oh, I better not do this because. Oh, I better not do that because. Oh, I better not do this because. See? And that's what separated. That's what separated humans from themselves, from each other. That voice of the knowledge. That's what Toltec's called, the voice of the knowledge. That constant internal chatter is what disconnects you from the spirit. You just shut that down. See, sometimes you just shut that down, just be, and just do. See, it's all about love, and right now the golden race is probably the funnest thing to even approach, because as the golden race gets made, and more golden children are born, and more of the parents of different races love each other when they have a child, you'll see those children born, and their power is just more prevalent than the regular children. It's just the case. That's just the case. That's just how it is. Period. So you take that little golden child to the mall, it shines like a beacon. People just walk up to you. Oh my God, look at that baby. All that kind of stuff. So I wanted to make this video for the request. Hope it suffices, and I'll come up with some more to make, but here's that initial one in the new series for you.